What we've got here today is another one of the bikes from the container. This is a Honda XL185s from 1979. This is one of the many that we've brought into the country that we're going to do up. Various items that need doing on this one. You can kind of see straight away, no rear light, the bracket and the cluster. And then around this side, all looks pretty good. The foot brakes, all good condition. Pegs, all good condition. What else have we got? I've even got the dampers in the pegs that still work. Okay. Plug lead all looks new. Panels have all been resprayed. Tank's been resprayed. This side all okay. It's when we get up to here. So I've actually taken the clocks off of this because the two needles in both clocks are broken. So I've ordered some new needles. I've got one of the clocks taken apart at the moment, and I'll show you that in a bit later. I've already stripped it. You pull off the bezel and then you can just pull the needle off. But while I'm at it, I'm cleaning out the insides as well. I need a new ignition switch. That goes down there to a 4-pin connector, so I've ordered a new one of those. And I need a brake lever for it. And that's about it, I think, at the moment. I'll probably find things as I go around it. So at the moment I can't get it started for the lack of ignition switch. However, I can get in there and I might try and bypass, if I can reach down to that. It's clipped into the front headlight bracket. I don't want to take it all apart. If I can get down there and jump it across, I might be able to get it going. But that's the task for the next hour or so, is just to see if it kicks over. I'll do all the usual checks, oil, spark, things like that. So I'll come back to you when I've got some panels off and looking into it a bit further. Underneath the left hand side panel, we've got the air filter, which I'm not quite sure what somebody was doing there, but sealant and foam, that's their idea of making an air filter. But I've got some other foam in double density for making up that. That'll be quite an easy job. I did it on the XT500 video if anybody wants to see that already, but we'll be doing that a bit later on here. So we'll just pop that off. Let's have a look. Oh, what is all of that? Okay, someone's idea of making a seal. So we need to clean all that out as well. But otherwise, the unit itself, ignoring the foam and the sealant, is in good condition, but we'll get that off, clean it all up. So that's on that side. We can't actually see anything else much wrong with this. So next up, we'll have a look at whether it's got fuel flow, and then if I work the ignition out, we'll see if it's got spark. Right hand cover is the typical held on with the pegs into the rubber grommets, and the problem with these is they dry out incredibly and just grip those pegs, and you end up breaking the pegs if you're too forceful with them. So what I've always found is just a quick squirt WD-40 in there. Just adds just a little bit of lube. There we go. To the pegs. A bit more over there. From behind. And that now should be as easy as... Ah, yes, there we go. Straight off. And it looks like somebody has already damaged the lower one. But we can make a new peg for that. That's not a problem. There's a trick you can do to build up kind of new plastic with super glue and baking soda. So I'll show you that in a later video, and we'll attempt to construct a peg. I can see there is, looks like it should go into this, so I'll have to work out what shape that peg is. I don't think it's probably just a bullet one like this on the top part. So battery box, pull out, obviously no battery in there. There is a connector or a couple of connectors in there, so I'll have to work out what we've got going on there. And that's my brake light connector. Okay, so this looks like it might be my battery connectors, so I'll pull those out in a minute. And I need to look up, I'm going to guess this might be a 6 volt, although it'd be strange on a 79 that's a 6 volt. I need to look it up. I've just taken the headlight cover and cowl off, which this exposes this 4-pin connector. This is the ignition switch connector. So I'm now going to have a look and see which of those I can bypass to actually get ignition. I've printed off the wiring diagram for XL185s. This is a 1980 diagram, should be the same for the 79. It's showing me their ignition switch, blue and, is that blue? Let me just check. No, black. Black and red is the connections I need to make in this connector, in the 4-pin connector there on the front, in order to mimic ignition. But then I've also got to work out on the battery here, I've got blue and red coming in from a negative and positive on the battery, for which at the moment there isn't any noticeable wires that come over to this side, so I'll have to trace back on the other side. I've got coming out of the alternator cover over here this set of wires, and what I'll do is find out where this goes. I need to get the tank off to see up under there and trace that through as to what I should be tapping into battery wise. So back again once I've got the tank off and can see what I'm doing. The XL185 needed a new ignition switch. The other one was pretty much knackered, and it's a fitment into this 4-pin connector where the black and the red are the, if paired, are the on. So I found online this, which is the exact same plastic connector, black and red on effectively the right hand side with the clip over the back there, and it's this model, Hendler, and the model number is this, and as you'll see, this there we go, perfect fit, black to red, green, green, black and white to black and white. Comes with 2 keys, perfect. Just as a test of the switch, what I've got is a multimeter connected up to the low tension side on the coil, so just clipped on that, and then down here to the green, which is effectively the earthing lead, and then as we can see here, switch is in the off position. So let's just kick over. There we go, kind of nothing, virtually nothing reading on there. We'll just go over to the switch, we'll turn that to the on position, and then back over to here and kick over. There we go. Actually, interestingly, putting out 11 volts, so I need to have a check and see if this has been converted to 12 volt of the generator alternator, because it should have been a 6 volt bike, but I'll check that out. It would appear it's not producing a spark, so we'll just do some initial tests on the coil. I've got this connected to the input, so this is kind of going on the primary winding, so input connector. There's only one connector on this coil, and then to earth, and it is showing, there we go, a resistance across that 3, I need to look up exactly what that should be on the manual, but at least we've got a resistance across it, steady resistance. So next trick is to then go using, take the earth off of there and go across the secondary winding. So let's go in here first. So I've connected to, there we go, that to there, and nothing. Okay, so there's an issue somewhere in here down to here. So what we'll do is just take off, that's unthreading off the post. There we go. Looks as though it was making contact, but we'll try out. So there's a post just in there that I'm going to connect to. There we go, I'm on that now. And I've changed the setting to the 20k. It's now connected across the post, so across the secondary winding, and we can see that there is resistance. Again, I need to look and see if that should be within range, but it looks as though we have a completed circuit within there. So next thing we go to is check out the lead and see if that's got any issues. I'm now across on this end, so this end the probe into the end of the connectors, and the other end clips into the lead in there, and nothing. So I'm going to make up a new lead. It could be the boot or anywhere in that wire, who knows. So I'll make up a new one and see if we've got any difference. Just temporary for the moment. New cable just pushed onto the spigot in there. New boot, plug on, ignition on. I've actually, because I'm not sure if this one runs without a battery or not, so I've got a temporary connection just with a little 6-volt battery down there. So let's just get this where we can see it. See if we can get it to stay. If not, hang on, let's hold it. Yes, we have spark. I've also just disconnected the battery just to see if this is one of those, like an XT500, that will run without a battery, and there we go, still has spark. So that's good news, don't need to mess around with the battery connectors just yet. Next job is check the oil, which I haven't done yet, so let's have a look, see what we've got going on down here. There we go. So none by the look of it. Okay, right, so first job, let's get belly pan off, which is this. Just see what the oil is that is in it, drain it, have a look if there is any, and refill it. The bash plate didn't need to come off anyway for the oil drain. The oil drain plug is on the side, but I thought I'd remove it. It's actually quite a neat design. It's a single bolt here and a hinge arrangement. There is 2 bolts at the back, but that gives me a clear view of the underside, and it's in pretty good condition, as you can see. So next off, drain bolt. Let's see what the oil looks like. As you can see, the oil isn't particularly clean, and neither is the filter. We'll give that a bit of a scrub out with some degreasant and get it back in and refill it, and then let's see if it starts. I've got this rigged up with temporary fuel now. I've changed the oil, checked for spark, so kind of basic checks done. I have actually been trying to get it going, but we'll see. As you can hear, it'll try and go, but doesn't actually want to run. So what I'm going to check next is down here we've got access to the timing marks, so I'm going to pop that off. Also got the caps off so I can get to the tappets as well, because I can hear it's a little bit tappety when it does try and go anyway. So I'm going to get the timing, line it up to the T to do the timing, and then I've got to look and see if the alignment marks on the actuator here line up. So at the moment it's that mark there, should line up with that, which is the firing point. If not, then I need to adjust the back plate. This is the state of the timing cover bolt. The previous owner has not been too gentle with that, so what I'm going to do is actually just Dremel that out a bit better to give it some decent edges, because as you can see it's knackered, it won't stick in there. So I just had to use an impact, usually impact driver, because the tips are broader than most screwdrivers, and then just give it a tap as well, because obviously if you hit it in, it'll bite in and take it out, and that's how I've got that out. Being as it didn't want to play, I've stripped the carburettor, cleaned out the pilot, cleaned out the main jet. Also found that there is actually a idle adjustment screw. It's kind of set right underneath the float bowl. This is an aftermarket carb, so I'm not really sure how much tuning I've got on it, but I have managed to now get it started, which will show. Get it in the right place, so just after top dead centre.